Hello my hearty friend and welcome to today's video. We are going to paint a beautiful rosemary. Well, I do like the result, so yeah, I hope you're gonna like it too. And I'm gonna paint it as a mixed media. I'm going to use a little bit of this and that, and you will see how we go along with it. And I'll start with a base of watercolor. I always like to use watercolor as my base because it's easier to layer on top, especially when I don't really know what I'm doing. And after doing my quick little sketch, I'm going around the background, taking care of adding some light. I wanted this piece to really shine through, so I decided to add quite a bright yellow to my background, and I will add then some more pop color to just create movement. I don't really like when things are too flat, so I add some orange, some green, different tones of green, and the light that pops, the yellow that pops underneath like a light. And then I'll wait the tea dries out, but I will go back to the background. This is not the finished background. I always move around when I paint. I already said it before. Yeah, I don't wait to finish taking care of one little piece, but I'll just jump back and forth. And here I'm starting with the top of my raspberry, the greenish part, and I'm playing with a little bit of different tones of green and yellow while my base is still slightly wet, because I like things moving around a bit. I am still using watercolor at this point to create also the base of my raspberry, and I'm adding some red, and then I'll just spread that red around so it's not too intense, because I don't really I want to be able to work on top of it. I don't want to be my final destination already. And I add a little bit more darkness in the leaves, and I now swap with my gouache. This is my Himi gouache palette that I move in a tiny watercolor palette that I had as a spare empty palette, because I find it just so easier to carry around my flat. And I'm adding more shades of red so that I create some contrast, and then I'm actually start to add a little bit of a purpley color, very bright, just to spread around and let the create more contrast and let things move. And I'm adding then some white inside because I wanted to the red be even more intense, and one way to do that is to create a bigger contrast, light and dark. I mentioned before I will go back to the background, and this was because at this point I felt like the background was too intense and my raspberry wasn't shining enough. So I use a bit of the white to create a sort of patina on top of the background, so it would be more flat, matte and opaque. And it's time to add even more detail. Now everything is dry. I can go around with a nice dark brown and just add the last detail of the leaves that I wanted to add. And also I wanted to add a touch of gold inside the raspberry. So I'm using the yellow gouache for now. I'm now swapping to another kind of supply. I have this deco brush, acrylic marker, and I needed something brown and stronger to give definition and be really precise with the edges of my raspberry, so you could actually see even more the contrast inside. And the last thing I do is to take this Winsor & Newton white ink and to splash it all around. But I realized I was going on the raspberry. I didn't want to touch the raspberry. I just wanted to add a little more interest to my background, but still keep it quite fainted. So here we have it. As always, I need to add a little touch of gold, because what is life without gold? And that's what I'm doing. I have a Daler Rani acrylic marker in gold color, and I'm just adding a little touch here and there without being absolutely not precise. I'll show you now the final result, guys. I really hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think down in the comment. If you haven't already, like and subscribe.